Hi, I'm Don from Don Drones On. In my last Starlink video, I rubbed the magic dish and made 2 wishes, and both have come true. Do I dare to make a 3rd wish? I'm not kidding. In my August Starlink update, I commented that the new outage reporting screen on the Starlink app was goofy to show sub-second outages. Who cares about those? And I wished that they would filter them to 2 seconds or more. Poof! In the latest app version, only outages of 2 seconds or more are displayed. That's amazing. Thanks, Elon's genies. And the second thing I reported on in August was a serious reduction of speed. I asked them to, well, tweak up the speed dial just a bit. And kazam! It's back up well over 100 megabits per second again. Thanks again, Elon's genies. So what do you think? Should I press my luck for a 3rd wish or hold off for a bit? Well, I think I'll just hold on. Okay, let's have a look at my magic metrics for the first half of September. The first metric I've been tracking is the number of outages per hour. Here we see that my obstruction outages are, well, about the same as last month, and other outages are up just a bit, for a total measurement of 2.6 outages per hour. But the interesting thing is that the total outage time is way down, around 1.4 minutes per day, indicating that the outages I'm having are far shorter than I was having in July and August. And this absolutely matches my actual experience. I've been working from the cottage a lot this month and using Starlink for MS Teams calls without the weird phone for audio workaround that I was doing back in July. And I've been thrilled. I might have one brief blip during my calls, or none. And I've been carefully watching the statistics screen through all of this, so I can quantify the outages that actually were felt versus nothing at all. Here's what I found. If the app showed an outage of, say, 8 seconds or less, MS Teams seemed to bandage over the dropout with at most a bit of audio warble. This one, for example, happened while I was speaking. So people noticed, and it showed as 6 seconds on the outage screen on the app. Now, folks on the call said that my audio was distorted for a second or so, but nothing serious. I counted this as an outage for my metric, so all is good. This one here, though, measured as a full 16 seconds on the app screen. I was dropped out of the conference call for about 2 seconds and rejoined automatically. Now that makes it not a big deal. I saw this several times during many calls, enough to say that outages measuring, say, 10 seconds or less had no impact, and those over 16 seconds or so caused a brief 2 to 3 second blip. To me, this is perfectly acceptable, and as long as things continue to get better, I'm absolutely over the moon. While we're on the topic of outages, I wanted to share this fascinating tool I came across on a website called satellitemap.space. I looked at this a few months ago and I thought, well, yeah, it's a cool representation of the satellite constellation, but no big deal. You know, you can see the satellites and their coverage circles moving around the Earth, which is amazing and cool. But here's what really drives home what is happening inside that little dish. If you go into settings, you can now set your actual location, latitude and longitude, turn off the distracting rings, and zoom in really close. Now what displays are moving red lines, giving you a graphical representation of the satellites that are potentially available to you in real time. Now, to be honest, I was expecting to see maybe 1 or 2 or 3 being visible at any given time. But as you can see here, it's more like 5, 6, and I've seen as many as 8 that the dish could pick up, if it weren't for the tree obstructions, of course. In other words, there are already lots of satellite options passing overhead that the dish can connect to. To me, this gives me a huge amount of hope that as the dish software creates its obstruction view and the switching algorithms improve, it should eventually be able to anticipate and dodge my obstructions and never be impacted by them. After all, It already knows where the obstructions are. Why is it even bothering to try to connect to satellites in those zones? There are plenty of other visible satellites most of the time to choose from, so it should go for those. I wish it would just... Damn it, that was my third wish. Anyways, that's a good one to take. I'll take it. Anyways, I did a screen recording of this thing for a full hour, hoping to get an outage and correlate that to too few satellites being visible or satellites only in my blocked direction. No such luck. When you want an outage, you can't get one. Too funny. Anyways, I'll round this video off with my third metric, speed and ping performance. As I mentioned earlier, my wish for faster speeds was answered with an average in early September of 118 megabits down and 12 up. Fantastic. Ping, unfortunately, was also up a bit, an average of 56 milliseconds, which is still perfectly fine for what I do. One other perspective is speed variation. With a regular wired connection in the city, performance is pretty steady, but have a look at this histogram that I took of the speed measurements over Starlink over the weeks that I measured. Each candle represents the number of measurements done in that range, 0 to 50, 50 to 100 megabits per second, and so on. Quite interesting how evenly distributed it is between the lower and higher speeds. And then there's a few really, really fast ones that pulled the average up way higher than the actual mean of the measurements, which was 96. My lowest measurement, by the way, was 12 megabits per second down, and the highest was 255. Well, there we have it. My experiences with Starlink so far in September. Much higher confidence in solid conference calls without serious outages, and faster speeds. If you want to see more of this stuff, subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.